Hey everyone, this is your host Sonia, and welcome to Sonia Space. I've created this friendly space to inspire and encourage my listeners throughout their day. On this podcast series, I want to talk about life, relationships, mental health, women empowerment, hardships, and new experiences. My goal is to have an authentic and vulnerable discussion with my listeners. Hey there, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sonia Space. And this space, I want people here looking to be inspired, but also looking for thought-provoking conversations, wanting to challenge cultural and societal norms, and overall wanting to be a better version of themselves. I'm talking self-love. I'm talking showing up for yourself. I'm talking about building better habits and breaking the old ones. I'm talking about personal challenges, be it relationships, career, health. I want this space where we can have these conversations and understand that you're not alone. Everyone has struggles and challenges and has to keep up with themselves and has to implement and incorporate habits and changes into their lives to live a life that they deserve and live a life that they want. I want this space for you, for me, to have these conversations and really work on growth and being a better version of ourselves. And speaking of growth and building better habits, I want to use episode 10 to talk about setting a good morning routine for yourself. And it can set a positive tone for your day and improve your overall well-being. I actually started having a proper morning routine, I would say a few years ago. Like never in my life have I ever had a proper morning routine until a few years ago. I would say like a couple years before I got married, this is when I actually started incorporating a good morning routine for myself. And for everyone, that could be different, right? So I've catered my morning routine for me, which I know works best for me and what I need for myself to have a good day, a positive day ahead. Mind you, there's still things that I'm working on, but compared to before, I'm doing so much better. And I realize like I'm slowly either adding things to my morning routine or removing them. But regardless, I have a morning routine that I run by and I do it every day to make sure my day starts off right. So I kind of want to go into what I do for my morning routine that really helps me. Maybe it's something that you could implement into your routine, or maybe it's a way for you to start off your morning routine. But the first thing, I remember this, the first thing that I started doing is I realized my environment matters to me a lot. If I have a clean space or a space that's tidied up, it's been organized, it helps me have some clear headspace. And I think I really need that personally. I make sure I make my bed every morning. It kind of helps me mentally know, okay, like this room is clean. It's good to go. You can start off your day by going out of this room, going into the living room, going out of your house. It's a way for me to mentally prepare myself for the rest of the day. Another thing that I started doing, and I think my body and my age kind of helped me with this process, is after my late 20s, now I'm in my early 30s, I prefer sleeping earlier. Yeah, I have some days when I'm like out with friends and sometimes it's okay to like stay out late, having a good time. But usually I prefer to sleep in early. I'm talking about like no later than 11 and then wake up early around 7 or 8. My body and the way that I feel in the morning feels so great and so refreshed. I feel like I sleep better. My sleep goes uninterrupted throughout the night. I prefer sleeping in earlier and then waking up earlier. And that has helped me tremendously because in the mornings, I can actually do some things before I start with my work. or with my podcasting or whatever I need to do for the rest of the day. So once I'm done making my bed, I, of course, go use the restroom, brush my teeth, and start on my skincare routine. And if you've listened to episode 9, I have a whole step-by-step skincare routine that I follow. And I also started implementing a skincare routine in my late 20s. I have a whole skincare routine. I go back to my room, I put on my serums, I put on my sunscreen. That is something I definitely don't forget. And try to get some water in the morning. So this is something I'm still kind of struggling with. And I know the importance of hydrating yourself throughout the day, especially in the morning, like kicking off your day by hydrating yourself is essential for, your energy and your well-being throughout the day. So what I try to do is, especially if my Stanley cup is full and near me, I go ahead and I just drink as much as I can first thing in the morning. And I've realized that if I'm keeping myself hydrated first thing in the morning, it's really good. It kind of flushes out your toxins and it makes you feel more energized. I also have or leave some time for myself in the morning before my day starts to do some sort of personal development activity, be it reading a book or listening to an audiobook, or also I've started journaling more compared to last year. One, the shadow work journal, which emphasizes on childhood trauma. It's like really doing the inner work. And I think it's really good for personal development and understanding your triggers and things of that sort. And then the other journal that I am writing in currently, I started about a month ago, is the 5-minute journal, and it's the fit edition. But it's a lot to do with building habits and creating a good routine and removing old bad habits, things of that sort, and holding yourself accountable. So that's also a really good journal for personal development. The other thing that I do is I'm a tea person usually. I love me some chai, some tea. I make myself tea at home. And I would just sit there on the couch and just, without anything, just sit there and relax for just a few minutes. And I try to do this every day if possible. And I'm not a caffeine addict. I don't necessarily have to have tea every day. It's just something the process of it, I really enjoy, like a warm cup of tea and just sitting there and just, being on your own and in your own presence. And just sitting on the couch and just having a deep reflection of things, or just sitting there and doing nothing. I give myself that for a few minutes. So that is something I also personally enjoy doing before I start off with my day. I know I just listed activities that I do in the morning and how it can help establish a good and positive day for yourself, but there are still certain things that I am working on to add into my morning routine, my daily routine. And it takes time. So even the ones from before that I'm already doing, it took me time to really get the habit of doing, but there are still certain things that I really do need to work on. And I have to tell myself that, obviously it's not an overnight process. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes consistency. So there are still a couple things that I'm working on. One is not looking at my phone and social media first thing in the morning. I didn't think too much about it before, but as I'm getting older and I'm trying to implement better habits into my lifestyle, I realized that, with my podcast page, my personal page, TikTok, Threads, all of that, it's too much of an overstimulation for my brain and for my body first thing in the morning while I'm in bed. I'm talking about like lying down in bed, I check my phone. It's too much for me. And I have tried to tell myself, Sonia, wait 30 minutes, like do everything first and then check your phone, check social media apps. But I still struggle to actually be consistent about it. So that's something that I'm currently working on, and hopefully I find a strategy or some type of a tactic to help me implement this into my daily routine. Another thing that I'm working on to add into my morning routine is having a healthy breakfast. I've done this for some time and then I've stopped again. I think it just depends on how my body feels. And I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm not too hungry. I'll drink water, I'll have my tea. But then I don't really want to eat anything until closer to lunchtime, which is not necessarily good for your body. So I'm trying to kind of force myself or basically tell myself, hey, have some protein, some eggs, some oatmeal, whatever to kick off your day. And it's really good to have protein, especially in the mornings with some of the things that I've read and the research that I've done. So that's another thing that I'm currently working on. And again, they say it takes 21 days to build a habit. Well, I've never put 21 days into it consistently. So this is something that I'm working on, and hopefully something that I'm able to overcome and get into my morning routine. If you can take away anything from this episode, I hope you understand that building better habits starts with understanding who you are as a person and understanding why you want to develop this habit. And then you figure out, how do I implement effective strategies to help me incorporate this habit into my lifestyle, and be realistic about it as well. So understand that, okay, you can't immediately just start, going to these fitness classes, because if it's something that's new for you, it's going to take some time. And yeah, you're not going to do it every time, but you are aware of that, but then you go right back on track. So you have to hold yourself accountable. That's very important. And just be easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself, and also understand that where are the potential distractions or obstacles that are getting in the way from me building this habit and following through with it. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes consistency. If you're patient and persistent, you will be able to build that habit for yourself. Let's move on to our next segment, which will be the new thing or new experience that I've had. And I come on here to talk about a new thing that I've tried or an experience that I've had and kind of share my thoughts on that. Since we're talking about daily habits, and I've previously mentioned using this journal called the 5-minute journal, I actually want to go into this journal in depth and kind of give you a better understanding of why I use this journal in the mornings and why it's been really good for me to keep track of my habits and make sure that I am following through with my morning routine. So this journal is called the 5-minute journal, and it was published by Intelligent Creation. Funny enough, I actually did not go out looking for this journal. My husband got a wellness box in the mail from his work, and this journal was in there, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I just asked him if I can use it, and he doesn't really journal, so it worked out for me. But what I really like about this journal, one, I do not like free flow writing. I like journal with prompts where I can write a little bit every day. And with this journal, the way that it works is that it goes into building better habits. It goes into accountability, kind of gives you a whole spiel of what it is and how you can be better about it. And then it'll have little prompts for you or ways where you can keep track of a certain habit. So for instance, I started this in early January, and for one of the prompts, it was mention 3 goals that you have for yourself throughout the day that you want to work on. And then you list the things that you can do to help achieve that goal. So I really like that. It's very well structured, and I always go back to it and read through it. And then it also has a table of your habits for that month, and you just mark off on it. It's a great way to keep track, especially since I'm using it every morning. But If you are a type of person that likes a more structured formatting type of journaling instead of free flow, or just something that can probably help you build better habits, if you're someone that likes to like write things down, jot it down, I would highly recommend this journal, and I will link it on my Instagram page. I wanted to end this episode with a quote, and the quote is, "The seeds of accomplishment sprouts in the soil of consistency." This is a quote that I found online by Maxime Lagasse, and that's absolutely true, because with consistency, being consistent is the key to success in almost every aspect of your life. And you're building this habit to show up for yourself and putting in the effort. It helps with long-term growth, progress, and this sense of fulfillment. Thank you so much for listening in today. I am so grateful for all the support and feedback I've been getting. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Sonia Space, and follow me on Instagram for sneak peeks on upcoming episodes as well as other inspirational content. I hope your day goes well, and I've left you feeling inspired. Bye-bye.